the right to call an attorney right now. You spoke for 2 hours. 2 hours. I stood quiet 2 days just watching it play out. Watching what excuses the people come up with. Every day, every year, every time I come out, y'all move the goalposts further.
You are what you are, buddy. You official on the Woody and Charleston white team. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm okay with being a snitch. But you is a snitch, too.
He is putting on a master class in how to take a good brand and totally f it up. He made a bunch of phone calls to tell people how he felt about Gunna. Chatty.
Young Thug probably thought cracking jokes or just throwing out a bunch of words would get people on his side. But he couldn't have been more wrong, because not only are fans dragging him, other rappers have jumped in to pile on too.
Does Lil Durk got something to do with non-trade?
No.
Huh?
No.
Why did he have an opinion on my case?
He doesn't like rats. He said he doesn't like snitches.
Cool. 21 Savage don't like rats? Lil Baby don't like rats?
At this point, Thug is likely wishing he had just stayed low-key after coming home. Let's get into it. It feels like every single day a new leaked audio of Young Thug pops up, and with each one, his street credibility just keeps taking more hits. As most people know by now, most of the heat he's facing comes from one particular piece of evidence, a 2-hour interrogation tape from way back in 2015. That tape has basically become the smoking gun people are pointing to when they accuse him of snitching. Right from the jump, the whole thing looked bad. As soon as the interrogation started, Thug refused to initial his rights, pretty much like he didn't even want the world to know he was sitting in that room, having that conversation.
Your first right is you have the right to remain silent. And that's it.
Do you understand that?
Yeah. You want to initial it?
I don't want to initial it. That's fine. If you don't want to initial it, that's fine. As long as you understand it.
Then he flat out told the detectives he'd say whatever they wanted to hear, as long as they didn't let it get out to the public. That right there already set the tone, like he knew how damaging it would be if word got around. And just like he promised, once the tape rolled on, Thug started talking. A lot. He ended up throwing Pee Wee Roscoe under the bus, literally saying Roscoe carried Wayne's and was out committing crimes every single day.
Was them there more brothers than Bird and Wayne?
Oh, Roscoe and Lil Wayne were more than
this nigga used to brain Wayne.
That's not just some loose talk. That's a direct accusation about another man's criminal activity. Then, he gave detectives a whole play-by-play about the money issues between Lil Wayne and Birdman, even breaking down how Birdman was holding up Wayne's album and wasn't paying him the money he was owed. According to Thug, Birdman was lying about the reasons behind it all, and Wayne was basically getting shortchanged.
His album is called Carter 5, and Birdman they never put it out. So he started a little organization called Free Carter 5, meaning bring it out. And then Birdman told me that, so I'm like, oh, so that's what's wrong. He ain't put the album out.
He even went as far as bringing up Wayne's own lyrics. The line where Wayne raps, "Birdman is an army, I'm a one-man army, and if that dude coming for me, I'm going out like Tony." Then, to make things even worse for himself, he hinted that Roscoe was the one who actually pulled off the shooting of Wayne's tour bus. Considering Roscoe ended up getting 10 years for that very case, a lot of people feel like Thug's words lined up a little too neatly.
This was in Atlanta, and I was in New Orleans. I said, what the that was so weird. This now shot at this to us.
Later in the interrogation, when the topic shifted to YSL, Thug tried to laugh it off, painting YSL as just a clothing brand and claiming it stood for Young Stone Life, Young Successful Living. He tried to brush off the whole gang label like it was a joke. But looking back, that statement aged badly, because years later, in his own RICO case, he ended up pleading guilty to being involved in criminal street gang activity. That's a direct contradiction that made the whole just a clothing brand defense sound like a joke in hindsight. By the end of the tape, Thug didn't even want to take the officer's business card, almost like he was aware of how it might look if he did.
Do you want me to give you my card or you don't want my card? Because some people don't, and when they're in jail, they don't want to have like a cop's card because they worry that, oh, they gotta think I'm snitching.
But the damage was already done. Once the clip leaked and started circulating online, social media wasted no time in labeling him a rat. Thug tried to do damage control. He denied snitching, saying the video never even got used in court because it wasn't useful to prosecutors. His argument was basically, if they didn't use it, then technically I wasn't cooperating. He even hopped on Twitter, firing off posts defending himself. In one, he claimed, "Bashing me is only going to mess the rap community up more. I'm the glue to this fake game." But no matter how he tried to spin it, the denials didn't stick. The timing couldn't have been worse either, because as he was trying to fight back against the rat label, more and more leaks started dropping, each one stacking the deck against him even further. One of the biggest things people are pointing out in all of this is the massive hypocrisy in Young Thug's behavior, especially when it comes to Gunna. Remember, Thug went hard at Gunna after he took that Alfred plea deal. In court, Gunna admitted that YSL was a gang, and that he had personal knowledge that members or associates of YSL have committed crimes in furtherance of the gang.
YSL is a music label and a gang, and you have personal knowledge that members or associates of YSL have committed crimes in furtherance of the gang.
Yes, ma'am.
To Thug, that was crossing the line. He disowned Gunna publicly, tweeting, "Gunna, stop acting like we're friends on the internet. I don't know you, my guy." And when Thug finally dropped his comeback music, he doubled down, rapping lines directly aimed at Gunna, saying, "Brother, you're a rat. Twin, you a pack." The energy was clear. Thug was calling Gunna out as a snitch and trying to distance himself from him in the harshest way possible. But here's the thing, both of them ended up taking plea deals. Gunna took the Alfred plea, which is basically admitting the gang exists without admitting personal guilt, while Thug took a straight-up guilty plea in his own RICO case. Both deals, in their own way, acknowledged YSL's criminal activities. So now people are spinning it around on Thug. As one source put it, either Gunna is a snitch, and by Thug's own standards, Thug is an even bigger snitch, or neither of them are snitches. Basically, Thug boxed himself into his own hypocrisy. Then there's the infamous "yes ma'am" moment. Gunna saying those two words in court went viral, and Thug and others used it to clown him as proof of folding under pressure. But fast forward to now, and people are saying, what about Thug's 2-hour interrogation tape where he name-dropped people and went into detail about Birdman, Wayne, and Roscoe? That makes Gunna's "yes ma'am" look small in comparison. One Reddit user broke it down like this: Gunna never told on nobody. What he said couldn't even be used against anyone. He secured his way out of a snitching situation, but because they filmed it and leaked it, people just ran with the snitch tag. But Thug? Thug is in there telling, giving names, giving stories. That's real rare activities. And it's not just fans or random Reddit posters piling on. Rappers and industry figures have started speaking up too, and one name that's been brought up a lot is Kendrick Lamar. See, in another one of those leaked audios, Thug can be heard venting about how he tried to secure a feature from Kendrick, presumably for his 2023 album, Business is Business, and got turned down flat. He sounded bitter about it, asking, "These dudes too big, like, I ain't doing no features? Why? Why wouldn't you want to do a feature for a superstar?"
Too big, I don't want to do no feature. Why? Why you don't want to do no feature? Why wouldn't you want to do a feature for a superstar?
Thug didn't stop there. He claimed he wasn't the only one Kendrick brushed off, saying that Lil Durk and Lil Baby also got the cold shoulder when they reached out. To Thug, Kendrick's refusal was about ego, not music. He felt like Kendrick was intentionally holding himself above other rappers instead of embracing the culture and building with his peers. "You supposed to be a dude blessing NS," Thug said in the leaked call. And then he took it even further, saying, "That's why these dudes will never be bigger than Drake ever in life." He basically used Drake, who he's collaborated with countless times, as the model of what a superstar should be, and framed Kendrick as the opposite. Too self-contained, too ego-driven, too stingy with his features.
I don't be understanding that type of shit. Supposed to be a who bless a nigga, that's why will never be bigger than Drake, ever in life. Never be bigger than Buddy.
Thug even argued that Kendrick's refusal to collaborate was part of why he doesn't have as strong a foothold in certain parts of the culture, like the East Coast streets. According to Thug, fans out there don't fully connect with Kendrick's music because he doesn't move with the community the way other rappers do. And to top it off, he took a jab at Kendrick's preference for working with his cousin, Baby Keem. Thug downplayed Keem's talent and influence, basically suggesting that Kendrick is wasting his cosign on family instead of putting on real heavyweights like himself, Durk, or Baby. This whole rant, of course, ended up backfiring on Thug in a major way because most people just saw it as entitlement. Fans were quick to point out the obvious. Kendrick doesn't owe him, or anyone, a feature, and when it comes to Baby Keem, that's literally Kendrick's blood cousin. Of course he's going to prioritize family first, whether Keem is big enough in Thug's eyes or not. And funny enough, when you look back, it seems like Kendrick may have already addressed this tension in his music way before people even knew Thug had an issue with him. On Squabble Up, he spits, "Pipe down, young, these some whole other politics, B with him and some B in him, that's a lot of B." Then later in the same verse, he adds, "Tell me why the F you dudes rap if it's fictional. Tell me why the F you dudes fed if you criminal. /A. Can I get a drop?" I'm like, nah. Kendrick's never been the type to go out and directly address rappers in interviews. That's not his style. He lets the music do the talking, and for a lot of fans, those bars now hit different. But it wasn't just Kendrick who had something to say, or at least something to hint at. Enter 50 Cent. And you already know, if there's a controversy shaking up hip-hop, Fif isn't going to sit it out. He lives for this type of thing. Right after chatter around Thug's interrogation tape started heating up, 50 dropped a cryptic post on Instagram. He uploaded a video of a man dancing to the Dramatics classic song In the Rain, but it was his caption that caught fire. "This how you gotta move in the streets now because these dudes telling. Be careful now." Now, he never mentioned Thug's name directly, but the timing was way too sharp to ignore. This was just hours after Thug's interrogation footage hit the internet, so fans instantly connected the dots. And this wasn't even the first time 50 weighed in on the YSL mess. Back in 2023, when the RICO case was still fresh, 50 spoke out about how he intentionally distanced himself from anything gang-related.
When you see
what
like,
I'm saying? Like
a thug and a gunner and everything that they're going through,
yeah.
and you look at other people too, and you like,
I said on the record, I said, I am not gang. I do not gang bang.
He explained that the law wasn't just going after mafias anymore. They were targeting rappers who still tried to juggle music and the streets. And in his eyes, guys like Thug put a giant target on their own backs. A lot of people actually agreed with 50's stance. If YSL hadn't been out here operating like a gang, there wouldn't have been a RICO case in the first place, meaning there wouldn't have been any snitching drama to begin with. And then, of course, you've got 6ix9ine. If there's one rapper who was going to jump on this situation, it's him. He's the most infamous snitch in modern hip-hop, and unlike everyone else, he leans into it. He owns the label. So when Thug's leaks came out, 6ix9ine wasted no time putting him on blast. 6ix9ine went straight for the hypocrisy angle, pointing out how the industry is handling Thug way differently than it handled him.
Like, where is the energy at? Like, where's the energy at?
He said people are moving the goalposts. Back when he got locked up, rappers who weren't even part of his gang were lining up to bash him, claiming they'd never work with a rat. But now, with Thug, suddenly it's excuses and silence from some of those same voices. According to 6ix9ine, the energy just isn't matching.
Does Lil Durk got something to do with non-trade?
No.
Huh?
No.
Why did he have an opinion on my case?
He doesn't like rats. He said he doesn't like snitches.
Cool. 21 Savage don't like rats? Lil Baby don't like rats?
And he didn't stop there. He even downplayed Thug's entire case, saying Thug's situation was nothing compared to his own federal RICO. 6ix9ine mocked him, saying, "Stop giving this dude's applause. Stop applauding this dude for taking a plea in the state. Everybody took a plea in the state. That ain't no effing win. You got 20 years probation, dude. That ain't no win. Dude, you lost." And the wild part is a lot of people actually agreed with him, and that's when you know things are bad for Thug. Then you've got YSL Mondo, somebody who was actually close to the inner circle, speaking out. and his take made things look even worse for Thug. According to Mondo, the downfall didn't start with the leaks. It started the moment Thug came home after beating that first RICO case. Instead of moving low-key and keeping it humble, Mondo says Thug came out running his mouth, clowning Gunna and calling other people rats, when deep down he knew he had skeletons of his own. To Mondo, this is karma. Thug tried to paint himself as the anti-snitch while doing the very thing he accused others of. Now that the truth is out, it's come back to bite him.
Come home, still talking about, oh, rat, da-da-da. Bro, that's God. That ain't nothing but God biting you back in your bro, cause you probably been thankful that you just beat a life sentence in a RICO and came home and minded your business and been humble. But instead, you still coming out pushing the rat narrative, bro, and all that, this, that, and the third. Now look, you came back and bought your bitch.
Mondo even called out Pee Wee Roscoe, saying Roscoe was brainwashed by Thug. This came after Roscoe went on IG Live to defend him, claiming that in his eyes, a rat is only someone who cuts a deal with the government to save themselves once they're already guilty. By that definition, he argued, Thug wasn't snitching, but most people weren't buying it. That defense felt like twisted logic, especially when you factor in that Roscoe himself sat down for a 10-year sentence because of the very case Thug spoke on. To the outside world, it looked like blind loyalty.
A snitch is someone that comply with the government, just bargaining for their freedom when they have done something illegal. Man, a rat, a snitching, it's nothing selective about that.
Plenty of others weren't as forgiving. Whack 100 and Munchie B, two guys who never sugarcoat anything, flat out said Thug was snitching, no fancy explanations needed. Their stance was simple. The second you sit in front of cops and start talking about somebody else's crimes, giving names, dropping hints, you're telling. Period.
Munchie, is that snitching from what you heard so far?
That's telling, bro. He a snitch, bro.
He a snitch. Munchie stamping him a snitch.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't say nothing about the bus shit. And you see, he commit crimes every day, all right. But all that, he carried my drug shit, that's telling. Off the rip, that's telling, bro.
And then there's YSL Woody, the so-called star witness in the RICO case, who's been controversial on his own for cooperating with the feds. Even he came out swinging on Thug, saying Thug himself was a snitch and was now part of the rat community he and others belonged to.
You official on the Woody and Charleston white team. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm okay with being a snitch. But you is a snitch too.
Woody even threw out a warning for Lil Baby and 21 Savage, telling them to keep their distance because if Thug goes down, he's the type to drag them with him. Not long after that, fans noticed 21 Savage unfollowed Thug on Instagram, which many saw as proof he was taking the advice seriously. And while Woody was playing warning sign, Charleston White was over here playing cheerleader for Thug's downfall. Now, Charleston isn't a rapper, but he's built a reputation for stirring the pot. And when it came to Thug, he was in rare form. He went on one of his trademark tirades, bringing up Thug's hypocrisy with Gunna, and declaring that he'd personally destroy Thug to the point he wouldn't even be able to rap anymore. If there's anyone who seemed downright happy about Thug's collapse, it was Charleston.
They keep him 6 more months, locked up in them conditions like that there. He'll tell to get out of jail too. He about ready to break.
I told y'all, I am the new prophet, and you mad that Yak got it. You mad at Gunna. Gunna don't have no interrogation tape, and everybody mad at Gunna.
Atlanta, I know y'all love Thug, and I love y'all. But y'all just bear with me. I'm finna destroy Young Thug. He will not be able to rap no more.
But the backlash didn't stop there. Another leaked phone call showed Thug dissing Lil Durk, saying, "I already done too much for you, man. Watch out," after Durk refused to clear a verse for Thug's album. That sparked a reaction from Durk's OTF crew, who wasted no time clowning Thug. On top of that, an old Durk lyric resurfaced. Rappers Goofy Stains pay me for a song, don't clear the verse. And fans are now connecting the dots, saying it was about Thug all along. At this point, the criticism of Thug isn't just about the snitching tape anymore. People are painting him as a narcissist, someone who twists words, lies on the fly, contradicts himself whenever convenient, and lashes out whenever he feels other people are shining. In their eyes, he's become bitter, jealous, and entitled. There's even a growing belief that Thug's behavior fractured what was once a united Atlanta rap scene. For over a decade, Atlanta ran hip-hop as a dominant force, but now people accuse Thug of single-handedly breaking that unity with his antics and ego. Meanwhile, the irony is that despite Thug trying so hard to sabotage Gunna's reputation, Gunna is the one winning. His album dropped and did solid numbers, with critics and fans rallying around him. In fact, some are saying Gunna's project may have outsold Thug's naturally. While Thug's Business is Business was allegedly boosted by paid streams, the tide is turning, Gunna's image is slowly being repaired, while Thug's is sinking deeper. People are even comparing Thug's situation to Meek Mill's. Remember how Meek went overboard with his anti-6ix9ine crusade? He let the snitching narrative overshadow his music, and it ended up hurting his brand more than helping it. Now fans say Thug is doing the same thing, obsessing over snitching, calling everyone else rats, instead of giving the fans the music they actually want. And that's what a lot of voices in the culture are saying. If Thug wants to recover, the only real path forward is to let the snitch narrative go, forgive Gunna, and just focus on the music. But right now, instead of building bridges, he looks like a bitter man burning them.